Hello and welcome back to Ethan's show. Today we're talking about football over the weekend and what the hell just happened in the NFL and the playoffs because, well, I guess a lot of the outcomes are the ones we were expecting, but one outcome in particular that it really shocked me. So let's just get into it. Welcome to Ethan's show. Good afternoon and welcome to my podcast where we talk about my opinions on things that you might also have an opinion on and find my opinion interesting. So welcome to the show. All right, so this weekend we kicked off with the two Saturday games. That was the Jaguars versus the Chiefs and the Giants
Fee-fi-fo-fum
versus the Eagles. Now, the Jaguars-Chiefs game was actually a lot better than it should have been. You know, the Jaguars, they kept up with the Chiefs, and they shouldn't have. They're a 9-7 team. The Chiefs have been in the best team for, who knows how long, and the Jaguars are out here going toe-to-toe with them in the divisional round of the playoffs. They could have knocked them out and gone to the Super Bowl instead of Patrick Mahomes, the Jaguars. It's crazy, but Chiefs won. They advanced to their fifth straight AFC Championship game with this win, and they will be taking on the Bengals, who we'll be talking about in a minute. But to finish off the Saturday games, there was the Giants and the Eagles right after the Chiefs game.
Fee-fi-fo-fum.
And this one was not nearly as interesting. The Eagles crushed the Giants. The Giants, they played really well against the Vikings last week, but they just look tired this week, and the Eagles are coming off of a bye, and they're a really good team still, and they showed us. So, Eagles cruise into an NFC Championship game with their 38-7 win over the Giants, which is astounding. How can you call that a playoff game? The Giants do not deserve to be where they are, but they beat the Vikings, and I think the Vikings could have done a better job. But that's not how brackets work. That's not how they work. So anyways, moving on. That was Saturday. The Eagles and the Chiefs advanced on Saturday. Leading into Sunday's matchups, which were the Bengals versus the Bills, and then the Cowboys versus the 49ers.
Francisco, that's fun to say.
So starting with the elephant in the room, or I guess the Bengal in the room, the Bills, they have been at the top of the projections all year. Anytime you check the odds to the Super Bowl, the Bills are always in the top 3 to win the Super Bowl this year. And guess what? They choked. They got blown out by the Bengals in the snow. You're the Buffalo Bills. You should be able to play in the snow against the Cincinnati Bengals. But they didn't. Bengals win 27-10, and they will be playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game for the second year in a row. Little chance for revenge for Joe Burrow trying to get his Super Bowl. Little chance for Patrick Mahomes to get revenge on Joe Burrow and go to the Super Bowl instead of him. But big matchup coming up, Chiefs, Bengals. It's going to be a good one. The Bills, they disappointed me. I had a lot of intention, or they had a lot of good intentions that they didn't follow through on. And I guess it's the end of the year. These guys are like 20 games deep. I shouldn't be so critical of them, but screw it. I watched them all season. I was there right with them. The Bills should have done a better job, but they didn't, so they lost. Moving on to the final game of the Sunday evening yesterday. That was Cowboys 49ers. Now, this one was actually really close as these two heavyweight defenses just held each other down all game. 49ers ended up winning 19-12 in just the most boring defensive football game you'll ever see. The 49ers, they managed to, there was like 20 field goals in regulation, maybe a touchdown, but it was a boring game. Just defense versus defense. And, 49ers advanced to the NFC Championship game where they're going to play the Eagles. And if they want to do a better job against the Eagles, they're going to need to step it up because that was sad. You should be blowing the Cowboys out, not just having this close little game with them. And now you've got the Eagles, a serious team, who won their game 38-7. So good luck with that. And yeah, so that is heading in to the next week, the championship games. We've got the Bills versus not the Bills. The Bills suck. We've got the Bengals versus the Chiefs. And we've got the 49ers versus the Eagles.
Francisco, that's fun to say.
Here's my prediction, which is always wrong, but you should take it very close to heart and go bet your life savings on what I have to say right now. Definitely. I endorse that fully. Anyway, Chiefs versus Bengals. This game, it's kind of hard to predict, with how bad the Chiefs played versus the Jaguars, and the Bengals played so good against the Bills. It makes you think that the Bengals are going to win, but you can't rule the Chiefs out. You can never rule the Chiefs out. They're always in, this is the 5th year in a row they've been in the AFC Championship game. And if they win it, it'll be their 3rd Super Bowl in the last 5 years that they've shown up to. So the Chiefs, they're the real deal. And even with a close game against Jacksonville, you can't count them out. I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Bengals in the AFC Championship. They will get their revenge from last year, and they will go to the Super Bowl like they've wanted to, and they'll do it without Tyreek Hill. So only more credit to the new GOAT, Patrick Mahomes. Let's take it over to the NFC side of things. 49ers versus Eagles. This game should be very exciting. We've got the nearly perfect team, the Eagles, with their nearly perfect season. They fell off a little with injuries, but they're still such a strong team, and it looks like everyone's healthy. They're playing the 49ers, who have been on a hot streak, is an understatement. They have been so good. And so 49ers-Eagles should be an interesting matchup. And I couldn't tell you who the winner is going to be, but guessing how the games went this weekend, you'd obviously take the Eagles. But you can't, there's weather, there's the mentality of every player on the field. It doesn't always come down to, who had the biggest score in their last game. It comes down to who wants it more. At this point, they can't fix the games. I'm not going to say that they fix the games, but they could all season long. They could. It's legal for the NFL to fix the games.
And that's facts.
So they could, but they're not fixing this one. It's unfixable. These players, they want it. They've trained their whole lives to win this championship game. And if you think some Vegas insider is going to get in there and affect the outcome, you're crazy, because this is their life's work coming up this weekend. So it should be exciting. We got Chiefs, Bengals. We got 49ers, Eagles.
Francisco, that's fun to say.
It should be a great weekend. And yeah, that's what my show's going to be about today. We just talked about the playoffs. I don't have a guest for you today. I'm sorry. I don't have any friends. I couldn't get anyone to come on the show. But it's okay, because the TV is my friend. And so let's talk about the football I watched on TV this weekend. Oh, shit, we already talked about it. Okay, show's over. Thanks for listening to the podcast. That is all I have to say today. So tune in next time, and I'll have more to say. Goodbye.